Welcome back, class 9 and other classes too, because this topic, with whatever I am discussing today, is like a topic that is related, and it can be used in any classes also. Like I in class 9, I want to begin with a new chapter, that is election. Further, like class 12 also, like they are studying, or they have started the chapter franchise and representation, so it is related, somewhat related. So this is a general discussion, or a general, I want to give you a general idea of what that particular topic is, like election. Okay, so we have heard about democracy, right? Everyone has heard about democracy. So it is like this, it is related. Okay, related, it is related, like it comes from a Greek word. Okay, Greek word, that is demos, and demos, demos, and kartos. Demos means people, and kartos meaning power. So every country has their own form of governance. Okay, and but India too also follow a democratic form of government. So we have heard about democracy before also. Okay, so this is just a simple explanation. So democracy is that, it is a power of a people. Okay, power of people to choose their own representative, their own candidate, and provide a self rule to the people. So not only this one, but it becomes such a important thing for us to understand. Okay, so democracy is a form of government that allows people to choose their leaders. So every, like whatever there since from the beginning, like when you have uh, heard about your parents talking about election, voting, etc. So it is a form of government that allows people to choose their own leaders. Moreover, democracy is the rule of people, for the people, and by the people. So it's very simple. Democracy is a rule of the people. For whom? For people only, and by the people only. Okay. So moving forward, what does this democracy ensures? Democracy ensures the rule by the people. Rule by the people. It ensures rule by the people. So everything revolves around people. In democracy, everything is related to people. People will only elect their representative, people will cast their vote, people will form a government, and people will rule their own people. Understood? So moving forward, let's talk about now, like elections are held. Okay, after choosing a people, that so many elections are, so elections are process by which people select their representative in the government. So many people come together. Okay, if they become 18 years and above, people are like liable to vote. So election is the process by which people select their representative in the government. Further, so it's just a meaning I have given you what is election. Okay, but in a deeper way, let's understand what is election. Like election is a process. Election is a process in which people vote to choose a person, or a group of people to hold an official position in a politics. So election is a process by which people, many people, okay, if let's consider this as a people, many people come together. Okay, come to come together to choose a person, then a person is like selected. Okay, then every person will cast their vote for this particular person, and when he or she will be like victorious, victorious or they win an election, what happens then? They hold an office, they hold a particular office, be it be education, be it be finance, be it be home minister, defense minister, everything. Okay, they hold a position in a politics. So these marks the process of election or electing someone. So, like, not just that, one election takes year regularly. Okay, election takes place regularly in democracy. Regularly means 5 years of time, in within a 5 years. Okay, every 5 years election comes, and that is the basic postulates of democracy, because fundamental because if election comes, then we can choose the different representatives, or we can elect different person, so that if a person was doing that, if that particular elected representative was unable to perform his duty, so that after 5 years we can change that particular person. So election takes place regularly in any democracy. So, like, there are more than 100 countries in the world in which elections takes place. Okay. Previously there was like a monarchical form of government where kings used to rule, and there were no kind of elections. That the it was basic, it was totally regarded as a hereditary character if king was there. Okay, and like, then no election, but his son, whether it be capable or not, he or she used to be, like, he used to be king. So there is no representation, no choosing of any elected representative, so this form was disregarded. And in the same way, there are multiple other countries in the world in which the elections takes place, and it is a lot. Every now and then people will, like, every country will having their own elections. Like, it is not based on, if India had general election in 2019, it is not confident, it is not confidential, like it will be like compulsory. It will be like in United States also, they are having the election in the same year. So it is all about 5 years. Okay, whenever a country reaches a 5 years, the elections takes place. So, but most democratic countries also hold some kind of election. So these picture want to it represents, like, it totally represents a man, or a person is in a cage, so his hand comes out just to cast a vote, because he is in compulsion. So this is just an disadvantages of democracy also. So it is not so important, but you need to understand the concepts. So rulers in a non-democratic country want to show the world that they are not unpopular. So the kings and queens, the rulers of the world which is not democratic, means ruled by kings or queens, they want to show that by doing so and different kinds of things, they want to show that they are not popular. They are popular in today's time also, they want to showcase like that thing. Now so by holding general election, they can show the support they have for the people of the country. So UK is run by queen. Okay, so they also cast, there is election. They have their own prime minister, like Boris Johnson is the current prime minister of United Kingdom. So they want to hold their they wants to showcase that they have their own support to the people, and we are conducting elections. So Queen Elizabeth, this is a like cartoon image of Queen Elizabeth. So moving forward, apart from different countries, we we need to understand what is elections in India. Okay, so this is just an introductory one or an introductory video in order to understand what is election. So first is an area are marked for the people to elect their representative. So different if this is a country or if this is a state. Okay, state. So let's talk about Sikkim. Okay, let's talk about Sikkim. North, south, east, west. Okay, so east district, like then we have different places, like okay, and there are different constituencies, and if that district is divided and that district is again divided into words, then again GPU, so on and so forth. So one particular person will be chosen by the people, so area is marked. So that's why area MLA, member of Legislative Assembly. So the word area MLA you have heard about, that one particular person will represent one particular area. Understood? So in India, each constituency has roughly a similar size of population, meaning the number of area varies from state to state. So now each constituency has a similar size of similar size of population, but the number of areas, means the area that particular state that area can be big, that area can be small. It is totally differs from state to state. Okay, it totally differs from state to state. So this also implies that number of state is in proportion to the population of state like proportion to the population of the state. So there will be it will be divided according to the population as well as the proportion of the state. Now in India there is universal adult franchise by law, UAF, universal adult franchise by law. So Indian constitution totally deals about different rules and regulations, different articles. It is codified in articles. So in India also we have to follow UAF prescribed by the law. So UAF means every individual above 18 years has right to vote and choose their representative. Okay, so whenever a person reaches 18 years and above, he or she can choose their own representative and cast their vote. Okay, so this is an example. Okay, I'm just giving an example about how the electoral rules will be. Then if election is there, then all the names should be appear in their respective electoral rolls. So this is the same thing that you will be having in your voter ID also. Like a chart will be prepared, and your name, your age, and your own voter ID's detail will be, each unique voter ID details will be there in this page. Like every constituency will have these electoral rolls. With the help of these electoral rules, one will understand that how many people casted their vote, how many people died, so on and so forth. These are like a bigger game to understand. Now UAF is also has an addition on one principle, like a principle of one man one vote, irrespective of status, power, money, caste, religion. So you need to understand that UAF universal adult franchise runs with one man one vote formula. Okay, even if that person has power, even if the person has more money, more power, or follows different caste, or it comes from different caste, or follows different religion, that particular person have one man, that person has only one vote to power to cast one single vote. So now a political party registers for election and individuals file their nomination paper too. So what happens that there will be a political party, okay, there will be political party and registers itself for election, okay, registers for election, and an individual file the nomination paper too. So this is a political party, and from political party there will be different people arising, coming forward, and they have to file nomination to Election Commission of India. So and has to give it in paper also, okay. So this is how the how election will be done from grassroots level to the top notch level. It has to follow the same pattern. Then what happened means, after the nomination file, each person gets a ticket from the party they are representing from. He can now formally contest the election. So after the nomination file is done, then that person will get a ticket for a party they have representing and now can contest an election, okay. So India allows every eligible person to stand for election as long as they have a ticket. So that is, this one is very simple, as I don't need to explain further. So now ultimately, after doing with so much of work, what happened, voting day will be coming, okay. Vote when the voters like finally will be able to choose their representation in election book. And these days, voting days will be very exciting, as every individual person will be conscious about what's happening in the society, who will form the government, who will be our next chief minister, who will be our next prime minister, who will be our area MLA, so on and so forth, who will win the election. This will be like very exciting. So the picture itself says very exciting, okay. So previously people used to vote by ballot paper, okay. They used to cast their vote by just choosing in a paper, and they used to give them into the ballot box, okay. Now everything is changed, like EMV, electronic voting machine, is used. So like it is electronically, so to reduce any flaws that previously had, okay. By simply pressing a button on a party symbol, one can cast their vote, okay. So then after election gets over, the votes are then later counted, and the candidate with majority of vote wins the election. So let's understand what type of elections are there, okay. You need to understand different kinds of elections too. So the elections are direct and indirect election. So direct elections and indirect elections are the two types of election that India also follows. Understood? So let's understand what is direct election. Direct election is a system of choosing political leaders in which the voters directly cast ballots for the person or a political party. So it is directly that every individual come together in one day, the scheduled date, then they cast their vote for their representative, okay. So that is called direct. People choose their representative directly. So basically it is an election in which the citizens vote directly instead of having representative who vote for them, okay. Like if this is a chosen leader, so then I am from that particular area, okay. So I have to cast their vote also. There will be other candidate also, okay, opposition parties candidate will, some will vote this one and some will vote this one, and if the vote is won by person A, then he will form the government. It's very simple, okay. So an electoral system is a set of rules that determine how elections are conducted and how their results are determined. Electoral system. What is electoral system? Electoral system is a set of rules that determine how elections are conducted and how their results are determined. So, the MPs, member of parliaments, and the member of legislative assembly, MLA, and the member of local bodies are elected in direct election. So who are elected in the by the method of direct election? MP, member of parliament, MLA, member of legislative assembly, and the member of local bodies like panchayats, etc., okay, are elected with the process of direct election. Now, let's talk about indirect election. Indirect election is an election in which elected leaders choose between themselves a leader of the group. So, if the government is already found, okay, if the government is already found, this is party A and this is party B, okay. So, party B has been the government, it has formed the government. So from this is A is opposition party, okay. So both the parties have their own members, then in a like they need to choose the president, okay, then they need to cast the vote, okay. So with the process of indirect election, the person can be chosen. An indirect election is election in which elected leaders, means these are the elected leaders, okay, choose between themselves a leader of their group, it can be CM, it can be prime minister also, because they have to cast their vote also, right? So it is an election in which representative chosen by the citizen vote for upper house candidate instead of the citizen. Now this in indirect election, citizen will not cast the vote, but the elected representative will cast the vote, understood? So therefore, it is an indirect way of voting by the citizen as their chosen representative for the choose member of the parliament. So, president and prime minister can be directly elected by the parliaments or by a special body. Who can be indirectly elected? President as well as prime minister. Thus, the election is a process by which people choose their rulers. It is a democratic process. Like election is a democratic process by which we can choose our rulers. It shows the outcome of majority and thus giving people the power of choice. So election gives the people the power of choice, okay. Whenever the election comes, people has a capacity to change that government, change that particular person who is not working for our social, culture, and environmental or economic development, okay. So this was just the introduction. Before you understand election, before you understand universal adult franchise or suffrage, representation, so on and so forth, okay. So without understanding these things, it is very difficult to understand the hard key core concepts of the elections or universal adult franchise. Till then, stay safe and take care.